What business are we doing? Tell me your ideal client, if you've run ads or not, or even if you've thought about running ads, what you think that would look like. I think is always good to hear from the business owner what they were thinking their approach to it would be and what the offers they would buy are along the way in that process, even if there's like a free component to that, just so I can see what I have to work with.
Yes, podcast principles, podcast post-production company, taking it off your plate, right? No more freelancers, no more missing the deadlines, no more managing a team. We're going to do that for you, right? What the ad that I would think I would run is I would take a post that I've already made about a client talking about how valuable their podcast is with a video of them talking about how valuable it is, not me. And I would run that as the ad. So basically like a testimonial. I would run that ad to maybe a VSL and then a VSL to some kind of opt-in. And then that's as far as I would guess that I would do.
Have you made this VSL?
Not to do this. No, I've made other ones that are more lead magnet based.
And what are the offers that you sell on the price points?
So $1,500 a month is the starting point for post production. Goes all the way up to $5,500 a month.
And your ideal client has already started a podcast and
already started or just getting started, and probably the marketer. They're having the marketer like. So yeah, finance, law, and coaching, typically multiple 6 figures to 7 figures, and they have a podcast and they need a way to monetize that back end of it.
So they want to buy time and then obviously scale. But what is
market? Exactly. Let the CEO be the CEO. Yep.
And there's a chance that they've already been working with someone. Already. How often are you getting a client for this that was working with someone before versus you're the first one?
I'd say like a quarter of them work with somebody before, maybe 25% up to maybe a third.
Yeah. And usually they're coming to you making low 6 figures and you're going to get them
I'd
higher.
say mid 6 figures to 7. And then, but they know they're going to scale this business in the next 2 to 3 years.
So they don't have any kind of lack of belief of if the model of podcasting will work.
No, they already know that. Whether they've like for what happens, how I do it now is I do organic. So over 3, 6, 12 months, they see all my posts on LinkedIn and they get it. They understand what a podcast can do. Then maybe they start one. And this is just for example, or maybe we're running an ad and this person has started one and they're a financial advisor or they're a coach for executives or they sell life insurance or something like that. And yeah, they already know that this podcast play works. They want a company to, if it's just the production, just come in and handle all of that. And that would be the first way in. And then I could come in later and help with strategy, but we'll stick to the production for now.
What are your unique value points of working with you?
That's a great question. Everybody needs that, right? So I'd say for podcast principles, the first one is management. Not all podcast production companies are the same. So our manager also has a podcast, also has a personal brand, like understands it deeply and has worked with these type of businesses before. Meaning compliance is not a word they've never heard before, right? So meaning we have industry specific knowledge, plus we're a podcast production company. So I'd say that's number one. And then I would say number two is we also have marketing acumen, right? So on top of that, if you need help beyond just the post-production, we don't just cross our arms and say, go find a marketer. We actually, meaning me, I can handle that too. So I'd say those are some of the differentiators.
And you said lawyers, coaches of all kinds, fitness, health, doesn't matter.
I would say not if you have a coaching company, not coaches, coaching companies. So okay. No solopreneurs, no independent solopreneurs, unless they're doing 7 figures on their own. But yeah.
You're saying these companies,
if you're doing $10,000 a month, you can't do this. You need to be doing like 70, 80 to 100K a month probably to really be able to hire an agency to manage all this. Yeah.
So you're saying not just to work with you, but to even fathom spending this kind of money and going in this direction, you would recommend the business already be doing that level.
Yeah. If you want to DIY a podcast, I did it, do it, right? But if you want to hire an agency to take over all of your podcast post-production, even all the way to booking, or even have somebody also book you on podcast, that's where you're looking at, you're going to spend $5,000 to $10,000 a month to get that off your plate.
This is a guy you can trust in the industry, guys. I do want to say that because I've talked to a lot of podcast production people that will have these similar rates. And then I talk to other podcasters, like I was saying, that I know are doing like super low download numbers. And they seem to be selling podcast production to people who are like working a 9 to 5. So like that's where the money's coming from. They're paying you with their 9 to 5 money. And then they're not doing their own podcast editing and their own podcast descriptions because they don't want to learn it, which is just basically anti-entrepreneur in to think like that. So they're kind of selling entrepreneurship to non-entrepreneurs. Like they're not generating an ROI. They're just kind of selling, we'll help you do the podcast because you like wanted to do it for whatever reason. If they're fine spending the money on it, that's fine. It's just as the podcast agency, if your client thinks that eventually your efforts will pay for themselves, it's going to be a long time.
Yeah, well, what dream are you selling, right?
Yeah.
The dream I'm selling is you're already successful, you're already making money, you already probably have a podcast, and you already have a business that's running. We're giving you time back. And then if you want to grow on top of that, then we can help with that too. But yeah, the 9 to 5ers, the DIYers, I did it. That's what I did because I was that. I was a mechanic for 5 years. I wasn't a business guy, nor am I today. I'm a rapper. I'm a creator. Like I own businesses, but that's my specialty. So I was that person. So who do you think I sold to? Those people, right? But now, since I've worked with businesses 7, 8, even 9 figures, I understand when you can do this, how you can do it, and what position you need to be in. And as you can tell, Derek, everything I do is public, literally. Like everything's public. You can watch all my videos, same with you. You can watch all my posts, and you can do this. I'm not holding it hostage. Now, if you need help, we're here. That's what you pay for, right? But all of this is available on the internet. Pat Flynn, right? All these huge guys. I'm telling you how to do it. I release 1 podcast a week too. But that's the thing. Yeah, there's no like, that's the dream. Do you want to not manage a freelance graphic designer? Like, that's the dream. Like, there's no, now your podcast will change lives. That's what we help people do, right? We help them help their audience, right? And that's what we do.
So this is a very niche client that you're selling to. And whenever it gets to be this niche is a lot of times where maybe Facebook ads, if I was starting your company right now, I wouldn't say like Facebook ads is the first place that we go. You only have so many clients. They're also hard to get a hold of, right? These people that are making that much money are hard to get a hold of. And a lot of times when they're making that much money, they're probably not addicted to social media, or they're better at creating than consuming on there. So they can be hard to get a hold of. I found that when I run ads to doctors or lawyers, I almost basically had to come to the conclusion that doctors aren't on social media. And I was like, I didn't think that was the thing anymore.
If they're actually good,
if they're good, they're not on social media. And I was like, I thought that everyone was on social media at this point. Like
when Facebook Marketplace has 1 billion monthly users, you're like, okay, well, everybody's on something, right? The people who I have not worked for, I've worked for there's fringe cases, but to your point, doctors, no. Lawyers, if you own a law firm, I've worked with multiple lawyers, but they haven't hired me to help them. They've hired me to help their teams. Accountants, find an accountant who spends money on marketing. You can't. Doesn't exist. Accounting firm, maybe, probably not. But find an accountant who's investing. I have one who's my accountant, and we produce his podcast. But yeah, there's these avatars that they just don't do this stuff, man. That's okay.
Yeah. Facebook ads is maybe applicable to one of the largest percentages of businesses out there as far as marketing strategies go. It's definitely at the top, but there still is cases where I don't necessarily recommend it. Now, if you were to do it, there's 2 approaches where you could say, I'm going right for clients, or I'm just building all this brand awareness and becoming a little bit more of a personal brand. And you probably have bigger goals than just selling to these clients to begin with. It'll just be part of the equation. You're building a personal brand for the longevity of your entrepreneurial career. if going right to clients, you basically always want to think about, if I would start an ad saying, hey, audience name, what would that be? And it sounds like you would be saying, if you're making over 50 grand a month doing this and you want to scale with a podcast, then here's how we can help you. And you simply let them know what you do. I'd say the phase of marketing that we're at now is just spit it out. So the VSL funnel, I think, would have been better in the past, and especially if you weren't targeting such high net worth individuals that value their time so much. They understand what a podcast is. They understand the benefits. They're completely sold on it. They already have one. 25% of them have already talked to a podcast agency, so they know you exist. And even the other 75%, I'm sure, could guess, but they could hire someone to do the job, so that they know you exist. And yeah, they know the value of time. So you're selling time. So you don't really have to build out the most concise ad process is usually the winner. The most concise that it can be. If you need a 15-minute VSL, then you need a 15-minute VSL. If you need a 1-hour webinar, then you need a 1-hour webinar. But if you can sell it to them in a single image ad, then that's usually the answer. Sometimes it's, though, a video ad. For you, I'd probably say you're going to have to be on video, because
we have so much, dude. I interview all of my clients, and I don't interview them about their business. They just talk about why they launched a podcast and what it did for them. So I have content. I have thousands of hours of me, and I have tens or 100 hours of them too.
You could go with the testimonial approach too, where it just shows you interviewing clients. I think is a.
Does that go to just a form of name, first name, last name, email, phone number, or?
Yeah, it would go to a landing page that at the top gives them the opportunity to opt in case they are completely sold and ready. And then below is as much information as they could possibly need.
Opt into what? What do they opt into?
I guess so they'd be booking a phone call with your team.
Okay. So we don't have to go like opt into a free thing. We can just go, you would try to go like.
You're still going to have the VSL, but it's going to be optional rather than required.
Got it. But then, okay. So basically like, hey, first name, last name, email, phone number. And then we call them.
And we'll call you. Otherwise, scroll down and you can watch the VSL, or you can read testimonials, or you can read exactly what the offer includes, or if you can read about the starting price.
And have that typical like multi-page thing that's just evidence and framing. And
it is very much the same amount of information, but structured into less pages.
So the ad, so they see the ad, whether it's a video or even the image, then they click that sends them to this page. The top of it is in some kind, is that opt-in of like, are you ready? Then we'll call you. If not, read on.
Correct.
And the goal being get some type of contact information there.
Correct. Yeah. So you're going to want to get contact info. So you'll have it throughout the page, the ability to opt in, but just knowing that some people, all they'll need to know is this is what you do. This is how you can help them. These are client results. And, they like your general vibe enough to say, yeah, I think we want to inquire about this. They'll already be ready, or they're already working with someone that they're unhappy with. And they're like, no, I want to talk to this guy. So they're already sold. You don't really need to make them watch, because you might lose a lot of great clients that are like, I don't have 15 minutes though to give to you.
Yeah. Now, so imagine if we did, and like maybe I'm jumping ahead, but like imagine if we did do this, like, yeah, is there a way to like, do you test it, or like first, or how does that work?
Yeah, you would be able to test this with even under like $300. I would expect to see some results looking promising by
I
then.
could follow like whatever of course we can, hire you as an agency to help, but I could follow like your videos and like how you do the targeting.
It's like at least just the videos are scattered throughout my YouTube. They're not organized perfectly, but that's why every time I do a call with someone, I'm like, here's the 3 videos that you need. So yeah, so I do the walkthrough.
If you get some opt-ins or whatever, and then maybe you can even close one. And then maybe not, but you start with that test.
I would come out with 3 different videos, because there's too much trust needed in this market. Otherwise, anytime a business can start with images, I pretty much tell them to just start with images. I already know that yours would require the video component to be talking to 50K plus per month people. You
And
better
these
spit it out
clients
though.
are that, and that luckily, like they are people who are multi 7-figure entrepreneurs, right? So they use that terminology, which is good.
So you're talking to them, and then you're going to do a video where the difference between the three will mostly be how the video starts. Otherwise, they'll pretty much be the same video. They can even be the exact same video, but start three different ways. So you give yourself at least 3 chances at the hook, which is so important to this ad working. One of them, I would do an audience call out where you're saying, if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a doctor or a lawyer, or exactly how you would put it, making this much per month, here's how we can scale your podcast to do whatever, right? So that's one approach, is like the audience call out. The other one would be the problem call out, and the other one would be a desire call out. So you could say, hey, is this your problem? Like your podcast is growing, but you don't have time, whatever. Just appeal to the problem. The other one being the desire. And you can even talk about like one of your clients, say, hey, here's how we got this person. It will sound like a very traditional ad. And that's why I think a lot of it is not needing clever copywriting nowadays. I like to go to the clever copywriting phase as the scale part. Otherwise, I'm like, if I can't just spit it out in layman's terms and just tell people exactly what we're going to do and get some leads, then it wouldn't have worked being fancy with it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, get fancy when you're fancy, right? As Gary
Yeah.
Vee would say. And so simplicity sells, as Hormozy would say. So, that makes sense. So that copy basically just matches the video, like almost like not line for line, but like almost line for line, right? In terms of like the copy is not introducing anything that's not in the video.
In the video, like you're saying the copy
Meaning
on
like
the landing page?
right? You have the no, the ad itself.
Uh-huh.
There's a video for that ad, and then there's a description, right? The copywriting.
Gotcha. Like the caption.
Caption. Yeah. So what is
it's
that?
basically going to be very similar to the video. When I do a video, I've been messing around with just doing a single sentence caption where the caption actually has more of a goal of
I like
encouraging watch time.
It leads them to the video, because if the sentence is good enough and the suggested kind of payoff in a sense is good enough, then they should watch the video. Yeah.
My goal is not to do split testing in a way where I'm like an image with, so like image A, caption A, image A, caption B, image B, caption A, image B, caption B is how I would structure it in the past and create all of these single difference testers. And I think it's a logical approach and it makes a lot of sense. But in the end, now I just say, I'm going to make one perfect ad. This is the perfect caption with the perfect video with the perfect headline. And then now I'm going to move on to the other one and make one perfect ad. And it's just ad versus ad versus ad rather than headline C versus headline E.
Okay. Do you release all 3 different ones at the same time?
Yeah, you would.
And so it's an ABC test.
Yeah, so it's an ABC test, but it's not AA, AB, AC. Like
the audience is the same. Everything else is the same. The only thing that changes is maybe that hook, or
really just the beginning. Yeah, the rest of it is just going to be you explaining it.
Like one of my favorite ones is this one guy, I think I've literally screenshotted his before, but he goes, it's like 1 million views or you don't pay or whatever. But he had another one that was, here's how my client got 1 million views on this video. And that was the ad. And he just went through, he's like, this is how it works. And if you want to do it, then click this thing. But it was very matter of fact, which I liked.
The algorithm works by people who stop on the ad. It takes that into account. Oh, this person, is a qualified client. Then people who click on it, obviously, or become a lead is who it's going to go back. It's going to put back into the algorithm and say, that is a good person. So if your ad instantly makes some people scroll, that's actually a good thing. Like, I don't really need a million views. I see those ads as well. I'm like, that's not my strategy. I'm not trying to go viral, and
but
that's
the
not
ad itself is pretty good.
Anytime someone says Facebook ads, they're always talking about Facebook and Instagram, and it is so rare that an ad works on one platform and does not work on the other.
I think IG is so good now because it fills in your email for you too, and your phone number. If you do one, it saves that information, and then when you get to the third story, like then it goes, is this right? And then you just click boom and they get your info. Very easy.
You're saying the lead forms on
Yeah,
Facebook and
like the
Instagram?
lead forms are is very natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So the lead form ads, I'm a fan of those sometimes. In this case, you're looking for a little bit too high quality of a client that
Yeah.
the lead forms is kind of naturally weighted now. The algorithm will find not unquality people,
But I get
but
it. It'll get people to input information.
real, it's a quantity way of going about leads. Basically,
Another
every lead campaign, every decision is quantity versus quality, and you decide which way you want to turn the dial. The instant form is the highest quantity dial.
if you're going for mass, if you're
Yeah.
selling a conference or something like that, or
Any kind of free thing, instant forms for sure.
this video should look like a native video
Yeah,
essentially.
you're gonna make a 9x16 video that still looks good if it appears 4x5. Is essentially what you want it.
Oh, so
it's
you
fine.
want basically like the center of that 9x16 to be playable if it's square too.
Correct. Yeah, even square to really protect it. But if you make sure the interior 4x5, which is 1080 by 1350, that is not cutting off your captions, then yeah, that will be good. So it will display cleanly.
And then like editing,
everywhere.
like have editing, but don't like over edit, I would assume.
It's not going to matter too much. I mean, do whatever style that works best for you.
Do you always embed captions though? Like, do you always put the captions on the video as as they're talking?
Generally, the captions will always give it a 10 to 20% boost in results.
I figured. Okay. Okay, great, man. I have everything I need now. I'm